Good morning. Welcome back to, or not even welcome back, welcome to our after show. Today is the after show. The girls are always on time, and look at the two fellas getting there.
Time,
yeah.
Take
First,
your time.
coffee.
They have to get their coffee.
There was a line here. Our director, Craig, was like, no, my coffee first. And then
Okay.
Jimmy was like, no, my coffee first. So here we are. Mitch finally gets his coffee.
Well, Mitch, what kind of coffee are you having this morning?
I am having some Green Mountain, something very sweet smelling, caramel vanilla cream. That's what it is.
Cindy's in the background. Tell her to say hello.
Hi, Cindy. Say hello. You're on TV. Well, not on TV.
I think we're sponsored by Green Mountain now, right?
Oh boy.
Are we? I
You
don't
guys
know.
are
I'm
getting
not
some
any money
behind the
for it.
scenes
Jimmy gets all the
action
money.
here.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna be
Beautiful
right
coffee
out there
lounge.
though. So why don't I open the door for Michael so Michael
Okay.
can get out there, okay?
How about you guys join the show? We got an important topic to talk
We're
about.
gonna join the show in a
The whole
minute.
show.
Are we talking about dating advice again?
No, not again. Today we're talking about kids, Jimmy. So there's Jimmy, we have Mitch, and then Rachel and myself. So thank you again for joining us in the Today in AZ After Show live on
show you
Facebook.
Oh,
Both the
hi,
fellas are finally
guys.
about to get comfortable here with us.
Oh, you got a snack bag? Anything else?
I gotta show you something.
Jimmy, you're making a mess.
Show you
Please.
something.
Oh,
This is how bad. This is a sign of the times.
disaster.
We got, people, there's always like that one or two really nice people that bring in coffee creamer,
Okay.
Sometimes for themselves, and if you need it from time to time. This place, you bring it in, it gets sucked down. The day that you need it, you're like, what the heck? Look at what Craig, our director, had to do.
he put a
No,
lock on
it's
it.
a padlock.
Here.
That's how.
Is that
These
what
are
they're
the sign
called?
of the times.
Padlock.
Padlock. My
Let's say
English is
they're
broken.
for
I'm a first generation American. I'm still working on it. So this is just awesome. You can get these for your
my
office,
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
and you put it in there, but it's got a lock, and there's your coffee creamer on the inside,
Yeah,
so
but-
that your fellow employees don't steal it and borrow. I just want to make sure this is fresh.
Oh my gosh, do not pour anymore.
You're over. You
Okay, I'll
spilled
wait
all
till I
over
go
the
down a
table.
little bit.
Jimmy,
More
how
on
hard
that
do you
one.
have to paddle to unlock that?
Is this so cool?
Paddle lock.
I'm surprised he doesn't have his mayo in here. He loves mayo.
Ew, you can have your mayo. Nobody's stealing mayo. Gross.
All right, guys, let's get back on track. I'm yelling so you pay attention. Trending this morning. It's a question getting a lot of attention online. So when are your kids old enough to be left home alone? Security company ADT wanted to know what mothers thought. So 7 out of 10 moms said somewhere between 12 and 15 was a good age for kids to be left alone. What do you think? At what age do you think your kids are old enough to be left at home by themselves?
30.
Should they ever be left at home alone?
No.
So hard.
So let us know in your comments. I know a lot of people have already chimed in already.
So I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, right?
Okay.
So I don't ever leave them home alone together.
Together.
Because I mean, literally, I go to the bathroom and they're like wrestling in the middle of the living room. So it's like I can't trust that. I can't turn my back for a second. So we're not there yet. However, if I need to run to the store and the 7-year-old's with me, I'll leave the 10-year-old by himself. Because like apart, they're fine. Angels.
I
even.
like that.
Together, they're the worst on the planet.
Now, as the youngest of
So-
3 boys, I know what you mean.
It's hard. It's like a mob mentality when kids get together and
Yeah.
they're left home alone.
Start.
My
But I was left home
my
alone
brother
as a
stuck a
young
knife in my foot.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're at home
Where's the
alone.
story
My
time graphic
mom's
for this?
working.
Yeah, this is a story time graphic.
Yeah. My mom's at home, and my mom. Let's do the story. Once upon a time here. Here, Mick, try
This is
that.
a
This
horror
is really good
story.
stuff. So, yeah, we're at home. We're just, killing ants and playing out in the back. And my brother had a knife. We used to all get knives back then, pocket knives, whatever.
Okay.
And he decides to play this game with me, and I'm barefoot, called chicken. So we're going to play chicken. So you throw the knife as close as you can to the person's foot, and
Lord.
if they
My
flinch,
gosh.
they're chicken.
This
Okay.
is why I'm like the worst boy mom. Because
So-
it's just like everything gives me hives.
My brother throws it, and it just nails me right below my big toe, sticks right into my foot, and I got to pull it out because it's stuck in the bone.
In the
And,
bone.
Yeah, it
He
went.
threw it that hard?
The irony
It does.
is-
You don't have to throw it very hard to get a sharp knife sticking into your bone.
Jimmy, the irony of that is that means you won.
Yeah. Well,
You didn't flinch.
no, he looked at me. He says, "Well, you should have flinched."
Oh my God.
And then I called my
Wait, I was
mom.
gonna say, what did your mom say?
All she said was, if you two can't get along, then you're grounded, both of you. I'm like, he's the one that threw the
I
knife.
have a knife
No.
in my
I have a
foot.
knife.
It's a blanket grounding. That's
Yep.
what I've decided. I'm like, one person does wrong, everybody's getting punished because I don't have time to sort out who
Yeah.
did what.
Everybody's
Right.
grounded for life.
Oh, man.
That's it. I don't have time. So is that why you still walk with a limp?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a sensitive subject, but I figure you
I didn't
bring
mean
it
to
up.
call you out.
You're getting comfortable, Rachel. I like it.
I thought I had
Welcome
that
to the
fixed
show.
about 2 years ago, but I guess not. I guess it's back.
You're walking with a limp.
I
like it.
love it.
That's old age. That's the other foot. That's another story.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so Sheila said 15, Heather said 13, Raymond said 15, Jackie said these days 40.
So I like Shanna because she says, I was babysitting kids 6 months, 5 years, and 10 when I was 12. So I feel like this is a good talking point of the difference between maybe then and now, because
Right.
I was always left to babysit like my sister and my parents' friends' kids. When I was 12, you're watching like 4 kids.
That's a lot.
Now that, I think someone would call it CPS.
Yeah, yeah.
But back then it was like whatever. We were left to our own devices in a hotel room. Our parents were downstairs for New Year's Eve.
Remember
Like,
that?
Nobody cared.
That was cool.
You know, but nowadays
Oh.
I think CPS would be called.
Well,
my
I definitely
parents.
remember going on a summer vacation, and the parents would go into one, everybody, families would come. We'd have our own condo or hotel room
Yeah.
or something for the week, timeshare, whatever the case may be. And like the parents would go hang out together, and they would just
yeah.
leave the kids
All the
together.
kids together.
And there'd be kids ranging from like 4 to 16, and they'd be like, 16-year-olds.
They're fine.
We're gonna go in here and drink because it's our vacation too.
And I don't want to get into the stories that I've heard. I won't bore you, but there have been multiple stories
you
about
do
kids
wanna
getting
get into
left
those
together and the crazy stuff that's happened and
Yes.
the abuse and I mean
all the
to
bullying.
this day.
It's
Yeah.
a mob mentality.
Crazy. It is.
Seriously.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, I
Lord of the
can't
Flies.
trust the kids when they're together, because that was one of the, one of my son's friends. His mom he lives close to school, so he's allowed to walk home and is by himself, and he's fine. He's very mature for his age. And then she's like, "Oh, well, your son can come over and they can play together." I'm like, I feel like one, but when you put them together, they end up a news story.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
I'm a nervous Jervis parent.
You're right. You follow your instincts, Mom.
Well, I'm the youngest of 3 boys, so imagine if you had another one, and,
No.
and the amount of crap that younger
When you
one would
meet
get.
my younger one, you'll know why I don't have any more children. Okay, Mitch?
Stop. You know, they say if the first one is an angel, then the second one is
I
in
am,
trouble.
as a firstborn,
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you.
See,
You're an only child,
Yeah,
right?
so my mom's like,
you
you were good, so I stopped.
That was it.
No,
Right
as
there.
a youngest, I take the opposite approach to that, which is that my
you're in
parents
the
waited
middle.
until they got it right, and then they got it right, and they were like, "We've had enough."
No.
Speaking of that, though, my brother's not watching, but hopefully he'll see this later. It is his 39th birthday today.
Yay, happy
So
birthday to your
Eric
brother.
Carr, happy birthday, buddy! I love
Last
you.
birthday
He's a
in
Taurus
your
as well.
30s.
Whoop, whoop. Is he stubborn? Does he fit the Taurus?
Yeah,
No,
Tauruses are
no,
tough.
he is the nicest, like most saintly human being there ever was.
He's on
he
the
has
cusp,
infinite
right?
patience for people.
No.
He's like the most outgoing person. Like you guys might think I have an outgoing personality. He has an outgoing personality that people actually like.
Is he single?
No, he is married.
Stop.
He has a child. He's a wonderful father, and it's his.
What
this
about
is
your
his-
other
this
brother?
is actually his first birthday as a dad, and next month he gets to
exciting.
experience his first Father's Day.
How exciting.
That's great.
That's the best.
Yeah.
So
you come from a good
thank you. I mean, we're talking about when you can leave your kids at home, and I'm glad I got the chance to talk about my brother.
Yeah, you guys are all grown up.
My brothers used to tie me up and throw me in different places. Tie me up like with like 50 ropes. They'd throw me in a closet.
Oh my God.
And I would kick my way out of the closet
my gosh.
with the ropes hanging, and I would look at them and say, "I'm shaking." And then they'd have to come chase me again.
Well, no, I had two
Survival
brothers. The
skills.
other one, when the middle one was allowed to babysit me, I'd go hide in the bathtub. I was like, because I just know something bad's gonna happen.
This is the safe room.
I remember locking the door and like pulling the curtain, and then like he like unlocked the door and he was like, "Where are you?"
That's
No!
horrible.
So let's see.
is a horror
how
movie.
old was he? He was maybe 14 at the time. So maybe
Yeah.
14 is too young to be leaving the kids
Because they're
alone.
still a little
Brothers
bit immature.
is just, it's
Lord
a
of the
totally
Flies.
different thing with the brothers. I mean,
Yeah, guys are totally, or boys are totally
it's just
different
me and
than
another
girls.
They'd hold me
sister.
down and do the
Yeah,
spit
we
in the
were
face.
fine.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad I don't have any
Remember
brothers
that.
or sisters.
Yeah, with the loogie that they just.
Yeah, brothers.
And they suck it back up.
terrorize
Yeah.
me.
Let it go.
And then finally the third one goes, you're like, ah, gonna tell
Well, we've
Mom.
got I feel like we've got a lot of people.
Yeah, we have a lot of people waiting
that
in
are
on
saying,
this.
like, my
So
sister was
zip it,
10 and
Jimmy.
I was 8. Both parents worked, so we were home alone from 3 to
Yeah.
6 shifts during the week. But again, it's what you're saying about boys and girls is different. Most of the people saying like they left me alone or left me in charge of other kids when
Yeah.
they were younger.
Yeah.
Most of them are responsible girls, which is why if you're a parent in a neighborhood and you've got kids, you're like, I'm looking for a babysitter, and some guy's like, I'll babysit your kids, and you're like, I'm looking for someone else.
Right.
We had that guy, Van Man.
Van
I had
Man.
all the candy and pops at his house.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and he turned out to be a criminal.
Hi, I'm a 15-year-old boy. Let me babysit your kids. You're like,
flag.
heck no.
Okay,
In the
Princess
70s? Oh, heck, he's a good guy.
Terry Ann said, I was left alone when I became a teenager. With that said, today's children shouldn't be left alone ever.
Yeah.
And but today though there is technology.
Generational bias.
So my friend, she has 4 kids at home, right? And so we left somewhere, and I'm like, you're leaving them all by themselves because she has a younger one, and she's like, yeah, the older one will watch her, and I'm like. But still, she's in high school. But still,
Yeah.
in high school, you're preoccupied with other things. She's on her phone. She has a boyfriend, so she's excited about her boyfriend. And I'm like, you trust her to watch the rest of the kids? And she's like, yeah, well, I'm watching them. So because of technology,
gotta have the
she has
nanny cam.
she has video inside her home, so she can check on them periodically to make sure that everything's okay. And since the daughter is a teenager and she can drive, she also can tell when her daughter leaves the house in the car. And so with that, I mean, I guess that makes it a little bit safer.
Well, that's
I
great,
want it
but like,
all.
what happens
Yeah.
when you see your kid like, uh-oh, he's like getting into like the insecticide?
That's
And,
when
like,
you
you're
get on
not
the
there.
intercom. Put that down. The voice of God comes over. I can see you.
Uh-oh, the child is under the sink and like thinks that's candy. Like,
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
there. Like, I can't physically smack it out of their hand. I guess you're right though. Some of
Cut up
these
the intercom.
technologies do have like a talkback.
Yes.
Yeah, that you can do that now.
But I like when it's one way, so they can't answer you.
I like this too.
No-
Robin
no
said
talkback.
it all depends on the maturity of the child.
For sure.
So right, I guess every situation
sure.
is different.
Yes.
John Fisher, it depends on the child. Some not till 21, others 10.
I think 10's a little young, in my opinion. I don't have any children, but I just would not feel comfortable leaving my 10-year-old home.
One of my best
It's
friends.
tough.
from
He
growing
asks
up.
all the time. I don't like, and I'm like, you're not ready yet. I'm taking your brother to the Little League. He gets dragged along with us. Believe me, he's complaining the entire way.
Mm-hmm.
But 10 is, but he's maybe not the most mature 10. So
Okay.
maybe if it was a 10-year-old girl,
And
I would
she-
feel differently. But no, maturity it has a lot to do with it.
So one of my best friends from growing up was 7 years old. He was in first grade, and his parents both worked, and they gave him a key.
Really?
And the bus dropped him off, and he
Right here.
They just kind of told him like, hey, you're not allowed to go outside, or
latchkey.
you're not allowed to go without.
I was latchkey in
outside of a certain
elementary.
area.
That was common.
Yeah.
And back in the 70s, man, we all
In the
went home
90s.
by ourselves.
In the 90s.
That's
and
true.
the stricter parents said, the kid would say, the mature, I'm sorry you're not allowed in the house, And
Yeah.
then I'd be like, hey guys, come on in the back there. You know,
Jimmy is
believe-
always the troublemaker,
you'll
right?
believe where my dad keeps beer in that back locker.
Well, so in that
over
case,
there.
though, there's actually an age at which, okay, well, like now we can no longer leave you alone. Like from
Yeah.
like 7 to 11, it's like fine, but as soon as they're 12 years old, it's like, uh-oh, middle school. They
So
could be
that's
doing
what happened
drugs
to
in
me,
there.
high
Now I have to
school.
be
Oh, we
home.
did it
I was a latchkey
everything.
kid, and then high school, my parents went out of town. It was like senior year, and they had a babysitter stay with me and my sister.
Smart.
Because she's like, you've got a boyfriend now. You're going off to college. Like, it was no more latchkey when I was in high school.
I love that. The
it was
older
over.
you get, the less they're likely to leave you alone. That's good. Now
My
you're old enough
parents
to
were
actually get yourself
strict.
into trouble.
Yeah, mine were super.
So
And you
strict.
turned out great.
Yeah, and I thank them now, but I remember growing
Yes.
up, I was like, you get mad. You're like, I hate you guys. You don't let me do anything. Like, I couldn't go to the mall. I couldn't shut the door in my room. Like, I was like,
couldn't
this is a
shut the
trust thing.
door?
No,
Yeah.
door open, especially when
door
you have
open.
visitors.
Really?
Yeah.
Rachel Cole popped off to her mom when she was about 10 or 11, popped off before school. Dad picked her up, put her in the shower,
shower.
closed
Told
it
me
on,
that.
and turned the whole thing on.
Gosh.
And you know what? Rachel
Yeah.
Cole is an amazing human being. She turned out great.
She is great.
Yeah, and loves her parents, everything.
Yep,
So,
strict parents.
tell
I
them,
think,
you know,
yeah, strict is the way to go. I
Yep.
mean, they're going to not like you at that moment, but
We
then when
appreciate
you
it
get older,
later.
yeah, you appreciate it. So I always tell it to my parents, I'm like, thank you now. And then I go talk to students at schools, I'm like, listen to your parents. And I know you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
They're so mean. I'm like, but later down the road, you're going to be like, thank goodness that they were like that with us, So
And I hear it all the time, like, you're the meanest person on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you.
you're like, I'm doing my job.
That does not bother me. I'm not on this planet to be your friend. I'm here to be your mother, period, end of story. When you are 30-something, we can be friends.
But
Right,
it's so
yeah, see?
easy to be a best friend parent. It's just so
It is.
easy.
I'm like, I don't really care if you like
cool,
me.
You get,
you
we're
can love
hanging
me,
out.
but you don't have to like me at all times. It's not
They're so manipulative.
right. It's not realistic.
I love you, but I don't have to like you right now. What is that? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? I love you, but I don't have to like you right now.
Most kids I know that grew up that just I couldn't stand my parents after like their mid-20s. They're like they
Totally.
love them.
Yeah,
They're the
exactly.
best people ever.
Well, you know what's funny is I definitely argued with my parents. It was like I always had to have my say, and any boss I've ever had will tell you I'm still that way. But the thing is, I always knew they were smarter than me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like whenever my parents would tell me something, I always knew they were smarter than me and that I should probably do it. Just sometimes I just was like, well, I'd rather do this.
Of course,
instead.
we'd always rather do something else.
I think some
Something
kids
more fun.
legitimately think they're smarter than their parents, and I knew that wasn't the
Yeah.
case.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to some of your comments in a minute. We have a lot of people chiming in. We have a lot of people actually giving so many different ages that it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to.
I think it's all over the board.
Yeah, it is all over the board. There you think that's the words I was looking for. But before we get back to our topic, we have an extra shot for you. So take a look. It's our last clue to find out where Gurky's going.
Brugardium coffee, Osseo beans, Avada de caffeine.
Huh.
A lot of good clues
Interesting.
in there.
No
Okay.
clue.
No. Like I told you, we talked about it during the show. There were a few
closer.
clues that had me guessing where he is at currently. 'cause he
Sedona, I
already went
think,
over there.
because they have a good coffee shop up there.
That would be amazing, Sedona.
They got the Stanley Cup coffee shop up in Sedona.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Oh, I'm like, okay.
And if you don't know what he was putting the coffee in, you probably don't get that clue.
Yes, I did actually get that part, but then I'm still kind of
And then the other day, his clue, one of his show little episodes had a hockey puck in it.
Yeah.
So the hockey
something
puck,
hockey related.
Stanley Cup.
So I've got it narrowed down
Well,
to
and
like
also
3
in
cities.
his clue on air, he mentioned Shane Doan.
He did.
He said it's keeping something that Shane Doan would be interested in.
And he said
museum or
passport, right? He said
You need a
Well, it's
passport.
A former bank. And you need
Oh.
a passport.
We're putting
So-
these
so
all
he's
together.
leaving the country.
Okay.
Guys, don't
All
give
right,
Yeah,
don't
we'll
give
leave
it
it at
away.
that.
We still have till
Mexico City.
Actually, Paul needs a passport because his driver's license was revoked.
Yeah, so
That's
we'll
a
find
joke.
out
Don't put that on
tomorrow.
social media. Oh wait, we're already on social
Yeah,
media.
too late.
Crap.
He says whatever on social media. So
Paul
it's
has a
okay.
valid driver's license. Okay.
So we get to find out tomorrow where he's going. So he has already been to Chicago. Was last week Chicago?
Chicago.
And then the first
Nashville.
Nashville, yes, Nashville, Chicago, and now he needs a passport wherever he's at. So I'm excited to find out and
yeah.
get to check him out and everything that he's going to take part in over there, wherever he's
That'll
at.
be cool.
So like
Looking forward to it.
we know the cities, but I didn't know what order. So like it's still fun for me.
Yeah.
Trying to
Figure out
guess
which one.
Trying to guess which one he's in. So we've got 2 down and 2 to go.
Yeah, that's
Process of elimination. We know where he'll be next week.
I love surprises.
It makes
you would
for a-
tell
it
me
makes for
in
a good
passing. I'm
Friday.
like, don't tell me in passing. I like it.
Yeah.
I like to be surprised.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's more fun.
Charles guessed Toronto. That's where he thinks Paul is going.
Oh, he said Tim Hortons for coffee. And
He wouldn't
brunch.
go to Toronto. He doesn't like Blue Jays.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
Charles Morgan says Toronto. Do we have any more guesses on Paul?
We'll get to that in a moment. But also this weekend is Mother's Day weekend, so don't forget.
Yes.
Don't forget, you got to spoil your mom this weekend.
Or at the very least, send her a card.
Yeah.
Send her a card.
Well, a thoughtful card
Phone
though.
call.
Like one that maybe you can hand make a card. Wouldn't that be great? Like, your kids are still young, but like say you're already an adult, and if you sent your mom a handwritten card, she'd probably really enjoy that, right?
My mom likes the card. Like if you give her a present without a card, she always points out that you forgot the card, which reminds me I have to pick up a card today. So she's coming in town
Right.
this weekend,
Oh, she's
tomorrow.
coming?
So
See, I
she's
screwed
coming
up.
here. Yeah, so we're doing a
Exciting.
full spa day. I'm taking her to the Frank Lloyd Wright Museum for
Okay.
a tour. We're going to the Wrigley. That was one of your great
Yes!
requests. So I know.
That's the best for the money on top of that, which it should be priced way the heck more, but you know.
So we got some fun things
You're
planned.
gonna-
We're
you're gonna love it.
exploring Arizona together. But yeah, I'm like, no matter how much I have planned, I bought her a gift yesterday. I'm like, if I do not have that card, you can forget it.
Yeah.
It's worthless.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon yet?
No.
Really?
Well, that's a little bit of a journey for them
That's
to
too
go.
far for
I'm
this.
saving it for the summer, but I don't want to like combust when I
Summer's
go
good.
out there. But it's
I went
early summer.
in the
much cooler.
3rd grade. I went
Yeah.
in 1976, and I haven't
Higher
been back
elevation.
since.
1976.
It's a big hole.
So I was told to go and
But
do
it's
like
really
you
big.
can almost do the train thing, and then you can go
Oh, yeah.
out and look and whatever. You don't have to be there for like a week.
That's funny.
I don't think I could
no.
do a week
You
in
just,
the Grand Canyon.
did you ever see National Lampoon's Vacation?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
basically you go to the edge and you go.
Right.
Okay, let's go.
I feel that that's what my kids are going to be like. Take a picture and
Yeah,
then
that's it. It's
And then they
great
won't
for
go
social
back
media.
until they're adults.
Yeah.
yeah.
It really is, though. It's something. I've been twice now, and I went about a month ago, and you're so overwhelmed by the
Yeah.
scale of it. How it's because it's a hole in the ground, sure, but it is the biggest hole you've
Yeah.
ever
It's
seen. in your
gorgeous.
life.
I jest when I say
It is, it
Yeah,
is
I'm
gorgeous.
excited to go
and
check
you
it
just,
out.
And we got there like right at sunrise basically. So when the light starts hitting
Oh,
the
wow.
rocks and they turn different colors, and depending on the time of day and the angle, you kind of see different things.
Yeah.
And it's just so vast. It blows your mind. I felt the same way about Horseshoe Bend actually.
That's what I've
We
been
went
there
to
too.
Horseshoe
Yeah,
Bend.
that's another place you have to visit.
That's another thing that kind
I've
of
never been there.
changes.
I'd like to see there.
It's incredible and just the size of things and how
Yeah.
and it makes you feel so small.
You're crazy
in,
how
in a
that's-
universal sense.
Sorry.
But
Landed right on your face. So like I can't.
Rachel said,
So you can
"Shut
take
up."
your mom
Like,
there.
I
You can take your mom to the Grand Canyon Planet Trip. So just don't forget. And tomorrow is actually Mexican Mother's Day.
Yes,
so
that's right.
celebrate as well tomorrow on Friday and then on
And it's Vanessa's
Sunday.
birthday.
Yes, that too.
Vanessa's birthday.
I was actually
holiday.
born on Mother's Day. Yeah, so I was like, Mom, I was your present, right? She's like, so much that I only did it once.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So make sure you guys get your Mother's Day presents. They're very special. Make sure you join us tomorrow. We'll start our Today in AZ show starting at 4:30 a.m. and we get to find out where Gerke's
Where
going.
is he?
So
Yeah.
make sure
That's
you tune in.
exciting.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Bye bye.